Hey, it's Father Taylor, and it's August 26th. I can't believe it. And it's Friday, which means it's time for your weekly eBlast. A couple of things to talk about as we're getting going, and we'll kind of do them in consecutive order. How about that? So, first off, Saturday the 27th, this Saturday, 5 o'clock, on our beautiful green hill above the parking lot, we will have our monthly get together. It's kind of a cookout. We're still not quite sure what to call it. Is it called Ice Cream Church? Because last time we had ice cream, and that seemed to be the highlight of the day. But it's a gathering. Come on, have a barbecue. We have hot dogs, hamburgers, some salad stuff, and I believe there is ice cream too. And this is really for everybody, but particularly targeting people with young kids who find it easier to run around. In this way, you get to meet some people you may not have known. We have now two more families who are signed up for baptism, which means we have a slew of 10, 11 families who all have kids who are toddlers and younger. And we're just inviting you all to come out on Saturday night, 5 o'clock, just to hang out. We do a very brief church service. We even did communion last time. And the church service is pretty brief. Then we have time just to connect and build some community, eat some good stuff, and celebrate the summer as we go. So that's an invitation. If you'd like to come, just check it out. And you don't have toddlers, come on out anyway. So that's Saturday, 5 o'clock. Tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. Also tomorrow, if you'd like to join me, it is not our week to do Church by the Pond, but I'm subbing for somebody. So if you want to come down, you can meet me down there at Bushnell Park at 2 o'clock, right in front of the carousel. You grab a parking space, come on, we do a service. The core congregation there is there every week. These are the same people every week. And then we always get other folks who come and go. It's just like church, except a different congregation. And you can come and just start to meet some people, become supporters of each other. I loved it. I love going down, which is why I offer myself to substitute. So anyway, so that's tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Bushnell Park, right down in front of the carousel. Okay. Also, you know that we have a whole variety of things that are listed in the bulletin right below you, including that our kind of kickoff for church this year is September 11th. And there's going to be a whole slew of stuff that folks have been working on, trying to build up. So we're looking forward to kind of a get back Sunday on September 11th. Why is that an important date? At the heart of who we are as Christian is not just believing in Jesus and hanging on until we get to heaven. Never been the design. It's always been about God creating a community. People coming out of Egypt and created Israel, and that's a sign. The way people live and live together in community, very different from what everybody else did in the world. It's part of the way God is recovering the world. And so God has given us the gift of community, not just the gift of believing, but salvation brings us into community. So it's hard to do community. I know we've had COVID, but I just want to implore you to reconsider coming out. So September 11th, weather permitting, outdoor service. We look forward to being a kickoff. It's a way to kind of start things new for your life. So that's a kickoff on September 11th. We do have a couple other things coming up, including that conference held over at Valley Baptist on the 24th. I'm fascinated to see how that's going to turn out. I met with some people yesterday at the Farmington Valley Health District who will be helping me set up a panel about issues around mental health in church and what can you do and what can we do and how can things go. And we're getting a great relationship with those guys. I'm sure that within the next week, we will have scheduled some work with them to provide for not just our church, but other folks who are interested. Things like mental health first aid. How do you know if somebody's a little bit depressed or somebody really needs to get some help? And what can you do to help? So we have a bunch of things coming up in September. But here's the one that I do want to tell you about. And I do remember Abraham Lincoln saying, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. For starting on September 18th, from September 18th to the first Sunday of Advent, we're going to try a church schedule where we resume the 8 o'clock church, the church that we've had, and our second service is at 9:15. So why? Personally, I really think that like our number one thing here is to rebuild community. I'm not big on the fact that we have some people who come to a service and never see the other folks. That's kind of like personal church attendance. I think there's something to be said for that, but it's not the big picture of who we are. The reason I'm really pro having this 8 o'clock service is that it is the one service we have which is relatively quiet, and that's what we'll be emphasizing. The service we do at 8 o'clock will be pretty much what we've done, but even simpler, to allow people who really find God in the midst of kind of quietness and solitude and kind of listening together. That's going to be the focus of the 8 o'clock. So that resumes on September 18th. The reason we didn't want to go back to 9:45 is since the day I got here, people have said, it's hard for me to go to that service because by the time we get out and then by the time we go to coffee hour, I feel like it's 12 o'clock. My day is gone. So it's to some degree to address that, but there's more. All summer, when we met at 9 o'clock, we have been able to have things like coffee hour afterwards in a modified way because of COVID. But we've also done times where people come for other groups for teaching and for more specific, kind of discipleship things. Last week, we had a great 45-minute class immediately following on how to tell your story. I'm going to make a video a little bit about how we do that. But we had a group of about, 15 people came. We had time that you could go to church, you grabbed a cup of coffee, you came in, had a 45-minute block, and you really kind of learned something. We all told each other our stories and practiced our format. We found out lots about each other. So that's building community. Plus, it's giving you a basic discipleship skill about how do you share your faith in the real world, not it's on Sunday, in the real world of friends and barbecues. And when people say, well, why do you go to church? And you say, well, here's my story. It's really great because people are not coming back like we once did Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We no longer can draw people, particularly if you work or you have families. Very difficult to show up at church for events that happen at 7 o'clock for our overall group. So this gives us a chance at 9:15 to finish the service in an hour and 15 minutes tops, and then immediately to have 45 minutes to be able to do more. We can have committee meetings, we can have trainings, we can have discipleship classes, we can have fellowship. So we're going to try this schedule out. We're trying to give folks an opportunity for a quieter, more contemplative version of worship together. That's at 8. And then at 9:15, we'll worship together and be able to do something afterwards too. So anyway, it's just a trial. We're being very flexible. If it doesn't fit right away, we're going to see. We're going to check it out and give it a shot. So anyway, so that's what we got for this week. Hopefully, I'd love to see you come out to the cookout. I mean, how easy is that? Particularly if we get some great weather. So, and I'll hopefully see this worship this weekend as we worship together. So God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.